What you are seeing now is Beijing in 1917. 5 years had passed since the fall of the Qing Dynasty, and people were gradually returning to normal life. Along the roadside, many rickshaws can be seen, a new form of transportation introduced by a French merchant named Miller. The old Beijingers often used them for their daily travel. According to historical records, Beijing rickshaw pullers worked an average of 5 hours a day, earning about 0.47 copper yuan daily. In the 1920s, that income was roughly equivalent to the price of 3 caddies of pork. Although they worked only around 5 hours each day, most rickshaw pullers developed health problems by middle age. Here we see Tsinghua University. At its gates, students ride donkeys home after class. Tsinghua was established in 1909, originally as a preparatory school for students to be sent to study in the United States. This arose because the U.S. had agreed to return part of the Boxer Indemnity. According to the Boxer Protocol of 1901, China was required to pay reparations to the United States, but after negotiations, part of the indemnity was refunded on the condition that China establish a preparatory school for overseas study. This was the origin of Tsinghua University. Now approaching us is a policeman, a newly established position. In the past, such officials were called constables or yamen runners, but they were now formally known as police. The system was modeled on Japan and the West. Unlike constables, the new police were granted far more authority, including traffic control, sanitation supervision, household registration, and market regulation. Being a policeman was considered a well-paid job. According to the official pay scale, a third-class policeman earned $7 per month, second class $8, and first class $9. The requirements for becoming a policeman were not too strict. Some literacy and connections were helpful, but the main requirement was a minimum height of 1.7 meters. What you see here is the legendary 8-carriage sedan. In the Qing Dynasty, this was a luxurious form of transport carried by 8 bearers. Only those of high rank were permitted to ride it. Officials of third rank and above could ride a 4-bearer sedan within Beijing and an 8-bearer sedan outside the capital. Princes and certain imperial consorts could also ride in it, while the Empress and Empress Dowager were entitled to sedans carried by 16 men. This scene shows a burial custom of that era. The deceased were often kept at home for 40 days before burial, though this practice soon faded into history. On the streets of Beijing, one could also find street performers. In truth, most of them had no extraordinary skills, and relied mainly on the pity of the wealthy to earn a meal. Here we see a marketplace in Beijing. Goods sold typically included fruits, vegetables, and foodstuffs, but most common were woven items. People earned money by weaving daily necessities and handicrafts to sell. For the people of old Beijing, daily life would not be complete without bird walking. It was a cherished pastime, more pressing than eating, as the saying went. Zhajiang noodles must have soybean paste, and a face without a birdcage looks improper. Noodles without paste lose their soul, and a Beijinger without a bird is no true Beijinger. After the fall of the Qing, customs and habits in early republican society changed significantly with political shifts and new ideas. Hairstyles and clothing underwent great transformations. Men cut off the long queues that had been a hallmark of the Qing and adopted short hair. While long gowns and mandarin jackets remained common, Western suits and Sun Yat-sen suits began to spread among intellectuals and urban youth. Women's attire also grew simpler. Footbinding was abandoned, and physical exercise became popular, making daily life more convenient. In matters of etiquette and address, the formal kneeling and bowing rituals of the Qing gave way to handshakes and bows. Titles such as Master or Lord were replaced with Mr. or Gentleman. Even in the interactions of ordinary people, rigid social hierarchies began to loosen. In lifestyle, modern institutions such as new schools, newspapers, and cinemas entered people's lives. Some urban households began to use electric lights and running water. Traditional private tutoring gave way to modern schooling, and people found richer ways to acquire information and knowledge. Daily routines and cultural life gradually broke away from the traditions of the Qing era.